All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday, May 24th. Welcome to Coffee with Community Services. My name is Jordan Eller, and I'm one of the 4 community services managers here at Alta Regional. Our director, John Decker, is actually meeting with the other directors of the community services departments for all the regional centers today, so he will return. Is it next week, Michelle, or the week after? He's got some conferences and things he's going to be going to, but he will return to coffee once he is available.
I believe he'll be back in the office on Thursday next week.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So as normal, we'll kind of get started with introductions so you guys are aware of the Alta staff that are on. We have Miss Michelle Duchenne is our Community Services Manager. Good morning to Tom Casper. He is in Michelle's unit, work on day programs, I believe. And good morning to Michael, Deaf Hard of Hearing Specialist. He'll be part of our agenda today, sharing Sign of the Week in Deaf 101. And
Hello.
Good morning to Valenda. She's one of our vendor coordinators. Good morning to Scott Barr, our other community services manager overseeing our QA and compliance department. And I see Ethan. Good morning, Ethan from Helen's unit. And Alicia Gauchi, one of our HCBS specialists. Good morning, Alicia. And I see Beverly. Good morning, Beverly. She's on Helen's team. And good morning to Jessica Guersh. She's one of our service coordinators, a veteran service coordinator here at the Regional Center. And I see Miss Cindy Lay is on with us this morning, and also Dana McClure, who are both client service managers. Good morning, ladies. And I am seeing BJ Thompson. Good morning, BJ, one of our residential managers. And Jason is on. He is our lead community services specialist. Good morning, Jason. And Yvette Beltran. Yvette, good morning. She's on Scott's unit helping with QA and compliance. And I see Miss Courtney. Courtney is one of my CPP resource developers. Good morning, Courtney. And I see Mr. Johnny Zhang is on. He's going to be sharing some information today with us about ICF lag funding. Good morning, Johnny. He's an associate director. And Shamir, our cultural diversity specialist. Good morning, Shamir. And I see Rhonda, our housing specialist. Good morning, Rhonda. And I also see that Jessica is on. Jessica's in Helen's unit. Good morning, Jessica. And Hubert is the newest member of my specialized services and supports unit. He, as an emergency coordinator, he's transferred over to community services. So we're very happy to have him join our department. And I know Miss Jen Bloom is on. Good morning, Jen Bloom. She's one of our director of client services. We got lots of folks on today from the Regional Center. It's always good to see you guys. Denise Hopkins, community services specialist, and Kylie, one of our HCBS specialists. Good morning. And I think that's most of the folks that have their camera on. So I missed one. How could I miss? Miss Camelia Houston, Director of Intake and Clinical Services. I missed a face there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So as usual, we'll get started. First agenda item will be our Sign of the Week and Deaf 101 Culture with Michael.
Perfect. Hello. Go ahead. Hi there. 1 second. Let me just do the spotlight. Yes. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. So today, the sign of the week is same and different. Those are the 2 different signs. So we're going to start with the sign for same. You put your hands out like this, and you go back and forth. Same. And you make a Y, and you go back and forth, same. Same. And then the sign for different is you cross your fingers like this with like you make like an X. Different. So now together. So same and different. Great. Good job. So I just wanted to educate a little bit, give some Deaf Culture 101. So with, ASL storytelling, that's just a real big thing in the deaf community. It's a really valuable thing that we have is storytelling. And that includes, ASL, American Sign Language. And that with stories entailing in sign language is a huge thing. So there's 3 things as to why it's important. So it's really preserving our culture and our history. ASL stories, just are carried down from generation to generation. and just stories of, it just helps the deaf preserve our cultures, our traditions, and the American Sign Language as a language. And it just really, it brings pride to us and our culture. And as far as community building, just celebrating the language of ASL and cherishing that as a language and a culture. And for reading and writing literacy development, and exposing signing and storytelling is huge. And that's a huge benefit for deaf, for students. It helps, that develop with knowing ASL and having that ASL language really helps with literacy. It helps with, just like with children, when you read books to them at night before going to bed, it's just the same as signing a story, and they learn that, they see that visually, that language, and that helps with literacy and writing for them down the road as well. So ASL storytelling really just builds strong connections between people and the community. And that's just something that we have that celebrates our deaf culture. So that's all I have for today. And if you have any questions in regards to this, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Michael. All right. So next up on our agenda item, we'd like to do our vendor spotlight. And we have START is a program that's under Turning Point Community Services. And Jana Cooper, I believe, is on. I've made you a co-host. Jana, can you, there you are. Sorry.
Yep, I can share my screen.
Perfect. Yes, you can.
Short hour. How much time do I have? Just so I stay within.
Yeah, like 5 to 10 minutes. What you need? Yeah.
I can do that. All right.
Perfect.
Everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yep, we're good.
Wonderful. All right. So thank you, everybody, for this time. I'm really happy to be here and talk about START. So the first thing I'm always asked is, what is START? So START is an acronym. It stands for Systemic Therapeutic Assessment, Resource, and Treatment, which is just kind of describes the work that we do. So just some fun facts about START so you guys get a basic idea is we are an ALTA-funded program. So you are our referral source and our only referral source. We are a mental health program and we provide 24/7 crisis support. So a lot of times people think of us primarily as a crisis program, but we really do so much more. We serve just about everyone. We serve ages 6 and up. So we serve younger kiddos, teens, that transitional age youth, all the way to adults and older adults. Our services are primarily focused on the systems that support the individual. So we're a little different in that we're not really a direct service provider to the individual. We're working with everyone who kind of interacts with this person, from service coordinators to parents to care providers to day programs to schools, doctors, psychiatrists, everyone who works with this individual. That's who we are there to really support and train. Typical length of treatment is about 1.5 years, but this really is individualized based upon the individual needs. Some are shorter, less than 1 year, and others have gone over 2 years because it really is individualized to what that individual needs. And we are also kind of an adjunct service. So we don't share our code with anybody else. So we're not an either or service. If START is needed, then they just kind of go on top of what other services are already there. Even if it's another crisis service, that's fine. We're really there to support everyone working with the individual to do it more effectively. All right, just real quick, kind of what we do. We do a really thorough biopsychosocial assessment. We're very trauma informed. We find that most of the individuals that we are working with and that you work with as well do have pretty significant trauma history. So that is really a lens that we are looking through. We also have a positive psychology lens. So we're really helping everyone who works with individuals see them through kind of a more positive lens. Not that we're downplaying any of the challenges that are occurring, but really seeing this person as a person and all the strengths and skills and beauty that they do bring. We do provide a very comprehensive crisis plan. This crisis plan not only tells people like what to do when those crises happen, but it also helps people really understand the person better, how to better work with them, how to communicate what they look like when they're doing well. And this has really been a helpful training tool to new people coming on to a case, whether it's a ILS worker, or even if it's we've worked with sheriff's departments who sometimes get called out to a home so they can better understand how to work with this individual. And we collaborate and coordinate. This is a big piece of what we're doing. Our community can be very siloed, everybody kind of doing their own thing. And our job really is to bring everyone together, everyone on the same page, everyone kind of having, sharing their perspective so we get all the great information and we can all move together as a very cohesive team. And to do that, we provide a lot of education and training. We provide education to the people working with the individual about how to work with the individual, but we also want to educate our community more too about how to serve this population who has an intellectual or developmental disability as well as mental health symptoms. Right, trying to go really fast here. So just some of the key things on how START is different. And one of the key things is that system focus. So if we're going out to a home, we're really working with maybe the parents, how to better work with this individual. We're working with that school, how to better support this individual and how to really understand the person and what they bring and how maybe their disabilities are impacting them and what their strengths are, so we can build upon those. That collaboration piece, we basically get paid by the months. So we do a lot of that tracking people down and getting hold of that psychiatrist and finding out what really happened at that appointment. We do a lot of that connecting and that sharing of information so everyone can be on the same page and have all the same information. We do a lot of education. Some of you may have seen we provide some trainings to you out to service coordinators, and these are free of charge, which is part of the START model. And what we do is we really want to provide education to our community. And so we have some parent groups that we're doing that are open to not only the caregivers of the people that we're currently working with, but any caregivers who might benefit and be interested in it. So we really open these up to the community, to you as service providers, as well as other organizations we do trainings for. We find a lot of organizations do some amazing work, but they're maybe not have a lot of experience working with this kind of dual diagnosis. And so we want to provide them that additional information so they really can serve this population. And again, that positive psychology. We're all trained in positive psychology, how to identify strengths. We want to do that strength spotting and really focus on the strengths that people bring. And when I say strengths, I don't just mean that, oh, they're really good at vacuuming, but really good about what am I bringing to something? People have a sense of honesty, or perhaps it's a sense of fairness that's really important to them, or their spirituality. These are the things that really speak to us as who we are as people. And we really want to bring those forth. And so they can put those out in their everyday life. We also look at the things that bring someone happiness. So many services are about how do we get rid of problems? And we want to say what's really working for this person, what brings them joy in their life, and let's do more of that. If we're happy and we're feeling well and we feel healthy and we have community relationships and we have a sense of purpose and we're getting meaning and we have positive relationships, chances are we're not having as many of those behavior problems that everybody wants to see go away. So sometimes just by adding those things in someone's life, we really do start to see them doing better, engaging in their community and just being happier. So that is START in a nutshell. Real quickly, who can benefit from START? Yeah. Who's a good referral? Obviously, they're going to be a regional center beneficiary, and you're seeing some behavioral health symptoms. They may have a psychiatric diagnosis, they may not, and that's okay. They don't have to have a psychiatric diagnosis, but you may be seeing something that you're like, something's just not quite going well for this person. That's fine. A lot of times if they've had a use of emergency services, whether they're calling 911 or maybe been to a psych hospital or just an emergency room, could be an appropriate referral. If they're having problems with stability in their community setting, which could be residential, it could be maybe there's problems in the school, or just they're not engaging in their community. We find, especially after COVID, some people have kind of hermited a little bit and they're not really engaging in the community. That can be a really great referral. If you've got overwhelmed parents or care providers, that's our bread and butter. That's who we're really here to help. Those are good referrals. Someone stepping down, maybe they're in a crisis care home and they're going to an independent living situation or a lower level care home. Those can be really good to help with that transition and make sure it's successful. Someone who's had frequent changes in provider just can't find that right fit. we can really support in those situations as well. And at the service coordinator, we've had this where they're looking at the client's chart and they're like, I don't know, I'm seeing all these different diagnoses and the meds keep changing and I'm not sure how to really support this person. That's an area that we can really get in there, dig. We read all the research, we read all the person's history to really kind of come up with what might really help this individual. And then if there's just a need for collaboration across providers, I know we've received referrals like this before where the service coordinator is like, I haven't even talked to the mental health provider. I don't know what's going on. We really want to bring that team together so everyone, again, is on the same page and able to support this person to the best of our abilities. All right. And this is me. My name is Gianna. My email address, anyone's welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions. Miley Lawrence is our assistant program director, and she's here as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. We'll give people an opportunity to ask questions too, but I do want to say on our end, I know that, you know, in community services, a lot of my staff sit on different committees and things. And Christy Schaefer is the community services specialist assigned for case management staff. If you ever have questions, you can reach out to Christy Schaefer. And then Janice Rhodes acts as a liaison directly as well for my unit.
Yes.
So we're really seeing clients and planning teams really benefit from that community linkage that Janice's team at START can focus on, and working on a safety plan and really working through some of those barriers. So we've seen a lot of success. We're excited to see the program continue to grow. And I do want to open it up for anybody who might have a question.
Yeah.
And let me check in the chat and see if there's anything. Definitely some comments. And one common misconception, which I think your PowerPoint does it very well, but they do not provide psychiatric medication management, right? You don't
Right.
have anybody who's a prescribing psychiatrist, right? This is pure community linkage and the other things that they had talked about, the education and the support and all those things. So we've seen a lot of success. We're happy to have you guys here at our regional center.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, there was a question in the chat if
Perfect.
if they can have a copy of this PowerPoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send that over to Jordan. I send that to you and you can disseminate.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Thank you guys so much. Any other questions? Oh, we have one. Do you guys serve Spanish-speaking families?
Yes, we actually do have a Spanish-speaking coordinator, and we are also contracted with an interpretation service that can be on call. So if we get a crisis call from a Spanish-speaking family, we loop in the interpretation services and get that support on the spot.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So, and so your service area, just people want to know, are you serving all 10 counties, I believe? Or...
So yeah, we are, I should probably stop sharing. We do serve all your counties. Currently, we primarily serve Sacramento, Placer. We have some Sutter, Yuba. We actually have one who's up in Truckee right now. Yolo. Yeah, some of those outlying ones, we have to have those conversations about what really our services look like, because if it's a 3-hour drive, we're not getting there very quickly for a crisis. So we really have those conversations up front. But yeah, we do serve your whole catchment area.
We got a big one, I know, right?
You do have a very large one.
We do have a big one. And then Jay, I know that you were inquiring about deaf services.
So we do not have anyone who is fluent in sign language, but with the translations company that we are contracted with, we do contract with sign language interpreters as well too. So we have worked with an individual where the caregiver was deaf, and so we would bring an interpreter up, and then we use the relay and things like that for crisis situations.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Any other questions on that part, Jay? No? Okay. All right. Well, we really appreciate you coming to Coffee with Community Services and sharing this today. One other thing, in regards to the trainings, are those monthly or quarterly, or is there a set time frame? I feel like it's fairly regular. Is it quarterly that you guys do the big trainings for the regional center?
The ones for the regional center, we actually just put a whole series out, and they're monthly.
They're monthly.
Perfect. We might miss a month every now and then due to holidays or things like that. And then we also have our monthly community education team trainings that we send out to you all as well too, where we kind of take a de-identified case, talk about it. Our medical director is there as well, and we do a training on it.
Because yeah, that additional education you guys provide to us is extremely beneficial. We really enjoy those.
Yeah, good.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, of course.
Do you help with connecting with if a vendor's having problems potentially with medical services and trying to do case management? Do you guys do any of that?
We certainly do try. Sometimes we encounter some barriers as well too, but that's one of the pieces we really do work on. If we have someone who is going to the emergency room, first thing we're doing is we're calling those emergency rooms. We're going out with them if there's a crisis, and we really want to create those connections. Yeah. And especially if someone's discharging, we want to make sure that, you know, we're having those discharge meetings, so there's a plan in place so that it's a smooth discharge out of those hospitals, and they're not just like suddenly like, oh, we're giving them an Uber, here they come. You know, we want to have things very planned and thoughtful.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jay. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Welcome to continue to join us for the rest of coffee if you would like. Thanks again. So our next agenda item, we have Scott Barr is going to give us an HCBS update.
All right. So as you know, we are continuing to march towards our goal of 100%. We have reached 301 units observed or reviewed out of a total of 516. So the HCBS thermometer has moved up to 59.3%. We're about to hit 60. We're all looking forward to this next month. We're seeing a lot more growth even in June. So we're able to continue to maintain about an 80 to 82% initial compliance rate upon first review. So everybody is really getting in line and making the adjustments to become HCBS compliant.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, it's great to hear that the compliance number is up that high. That's fantastic. Any questions for Scott on our HCBS matters? Lost the caption. Sure, what happened there. Jay, sorry, I'm not sure what happened with the captions.
I just tried to turn them back on, but I'm not.
He said it's back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, well, thank you so much, Scott, for the HCBS update. And I know we have Johnny Zhang on, one of our associate directors. I made you a co-host, Johnny, in case you need to share anything, but he's going to give us an update on ICF lag funding.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Jordy. Good morning, folks. So just want to go and provide an update as relates to ICF lag funding. For some of the ones that are not as familiar with that, essentially that is, funding assistance from the regional center. They transition in terms of ICF placement funding. They transition from fee-for-service Medi-Cal to Medi-Cal managed care plans took place effective January 1st of this year. So with that, because of the transition, some providers may still be working with the different plans to get funding. So DDS went ahead and allowed us to authorize essentially lag funding. What that is basically a loan through the POS dollar. And then once the provider gets paid, the agreement is that they will then pay us back. That initially was put in place until June 30th of this year. The department recognizing that the need may have to be extended beyond that. So with that, DDS went ahead and extended that lag funding assistance until the end of this year, December. And then along with that, they went ahead and updated the lag agreement because there are two forms that need to be completed anytime an ICF provider wants that assistance, that lag funding assistance. And so essentially the agreement has been changed to reflect that it's going to extend all the way through December of 2024. So if any ICF provider runs into any barriers, any challenges where they're not getting paid within 30 days from a medical managed care plan, or if there are other factors outside of their control, that they could essentially reach out to the regional center for that assistance. And so for any ICF providers that wanting to go beyond June 30th, that will have to complete a new agreement form. And specifically as relates to each particular client, we have what we call the attestation form as well too that will need to be completed. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link of basically the DDS directive along with the lag funding agreement in the attestation form in the chat. Perfect. So for those that are interested, any ICF providers go ahead and take a look at that. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to the facility liaison of your facility, or go ahead and reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Any ICF vendors or anybody who has questions on that right now? Okay. Thank you so much, Johnny, for sharing and getting those resources in the chat. That's perfect. All right. And then next, Michelle is going to share about the Micro Enterprise Fair.
Thanks, Jordan. Can you hear me okay?
We can, thanks.
I'm going to loop them all in because it looks like I'm the next 3 agenda items. So let me share my screen. Are you seeing the flyer there?
Yes, it's popped up.
Perfect. So just a reminder that our Micro Enterprise Fair is June 4th here at the Harvard office from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's going to be some free refreshments and some snacks, I believe. I just spoke with Carly. She's actually out at an event today, but we do have a few spots left. It's very limited. So if you guys are interested, or if you have anyone that is interested in participating, selling their products, I believe we have someone that's actually selling a service, a dog walking service. So if you know anybody that is interested, I'll put Carly's information in the chat for you guys.
That is such a fun event. I know it's awesome for the people who have their enterprise. It's great for our staff. It's a really fun event. So any of you guys who can come and join, you absolutely should. It's a great event.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next one I'll jump over to, I hope you see the vendor forum for our transportation. So just a reminder, we have our transportation vendor forum Wednesday, May 29th at 10 a.m. Agenda is pretty full, but please definitely send some more. If you guys have any, I'll put my information in the chat. We're pulling those together and connecting with R&D to have that vendor forum. So just that reminder. And then I wanted to give you guys another little visual here for our DSP stipend. So we have 38 days left. That's 6 Sundays. So we are still ahead by the skin of our teeth. It looks like Inland Regional Center is right behind us, which is great though. If you look at all of these numbers for all of our DSPs statewide that are getting these valuable trainings. So we continue to process them, Belinda and Raven, and our accounting. So I know that they were processing that large amount of payments sometime this month. So yeah, we're doing well. And that's all I got for you.
Okay, perfect.
Back to you, Jordan.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Michelle. And I don't know if any vendors have any questions about DSP stipends or have anything that they want to share about, any benefits that they might be seeing from their DSPs going through this, but it is a great opportunity. You only got a little bit of time left, right? So I know our PAC members and our vendors up here have done a really good job about educating their DSPs about the opportunities. So thank you guys so much for your participation in that. All right, and I know that there was if we could put some of those flyers in the chat, if you could put the transportation and the Micro Enterprise Fair flyers in the chat, if that's possible. Thank you so much. Okay, and then I'm your next agenda item in regards to our community resource development plan. So I know last week I had shared that we had 2 projects that were proposed that we had not gotten applicants for. So this is the last time we can re-RFP for these 2 projects before the end of the fiscal year, because we have to be in contract by June 30th in order to use the startup funds for these projects. So one of is the out-of-home respite center, and the other one is the substance use disorder, which is outpatient recovery support, right? So just a friendly reminder that if you have any questions about these proposals, please reach out to us. I'll put my email in the chat as well, but my team, my specialized resource developers, they monitor this RFP at altaregional.org inbox for any questions you might have about these 2 projects that will air, that if anything, that we're really hoping to get some applicants. And you'll see here that if you click on this link here, it'll bring you to the formal RFP document, right, with all the instructions for filling out your proposal. We are asking that the proposals for these 2 projects be next Friday by 3 p.m. is our deadline for that. And I'm going to kind of try to scroll through this slowly so I don't give you motion sickness, but I do want to just touch base on a few of the details regarding the projects just to really hope that we get some folks that are going to apply. So we have out-of-home respite. This was a project that Helen Neary, when she was the cultural diversity specialist, and I know that some of the vendors on this may have also participated in stakeholder meetings and work groups where they were trying to focus on the needs of non-English speaking families. And with the Russian and the Spanish communities, it was made very clear that those families were in need of some out-of-home respite options, not necessarily at a care home facility where they'd be spending multiple days, but really more of like a drop-in, right? That stuff that could be used after school, a center that could be used on the weekend. So some of the startup funding that we got is to try to target the Spanish and Russian clients and families so that we can ensure to meet those needs. So the center would be looking at serving children from ages 5 to 12. Obviously, they will serve all clients, no matter their language, but we are trying to make sure that the Russian and Spanish speaking family members and clients have an opportunity to have staff there that can speak that language, right? Or the use of technology for translation services, or the use of interpreters and translators. So in regards to the scope of the practice, we're really looking at, full staff engagement with children that are serving, including that they are serving there at the respite center, including doing enrichment activities, right? So they could be educational, social skills training, cultural education and expression, literacy, arts and crafts, music, social rec, meal prep, cooking classes, all of those types of things to teach our young ones some different skill sets in that respite opportunity. We are hoping that the individual that applies does have staff that might be bilingual, like I mentioned, and if not, that they have resources for interpreters and translation services. And then, basic expectations, right? Would have to meet basic Title 17 regulations to be applied to be a vendor. We would definitely want the administrator of the center to be on site during programming hours. Definitely, of course, experience all that basic Title 17 stuff, right? We would want you to have experience serving the regional center client population, and then being aware of any health and safety practices, CPR, first aid, of course, passing background checks, all of those things. So if you're interested in the respite center, we would love to have you apply. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. The next is outpatient recovery support, right? So we have clients that have dual diagnosis needs, including substance use disorders, and we are looking to vendor an existing outpatient provider that can provide the recovery support, prevention, relapse, right, and overall treatment. So in regards to that, obviously, they would need to be licensed, right, with the state and the county. So if you have any questions about that, that's pretty straightforward. Please feel free to reach out to us. Once again, that's May 31st for the deadline. Really hoping we get some applicants in. Does anybody have any questions on either of those two projects? Okay. Other updates in regard to the Community Resource Development Plan. As you guys know, John Decker and all the regional centers are doing a statewide FMS, which is Financial Management Services, and the proposals were due last week. So they are in the process of scoring all the proposals. We got about 20 here at our regional center. We were very fortunate. It was a well applied for project across the state in both the southern, central, and northern region, which is fantastic. They will be finalizing the review of all of those applicants, and then we will be looking at scheduling interviews for the agencies that scored the highest later next week. And then we would be looking at identifying the awarded applicant by early to mid-June, as of course the contracts would have to be formally signed by June 30th. We are also have selected the awarded applicants for our other projects in regards to housing services, the enhanced behavioral support home. So as soon as those contracts are signed, we will get all of that information updated on our transparency website. We'll share all the information with our PAC as well. It's always a very exciting time when we get to develop new resources for our clients and families. And, we're so fortunate to get the startup funds from the Department of Developmental Services to really target the needs that our stakeholders have identified for us. So it's a very busy time at the end of the fiscal year, but it's also always exciting because we get to see what new resources we'll be working on over the next fiscal year. Any questions in general on that? I think there wasn't for FMS, I know. Okay. So the only other agenda item we have today, we just got some good activities coming up. Oh, and before they do that, I do want to just share the link to where the RFP application is for the respite center and the outpatient sobriety treatment. So, but I will share my screen so we can look at our events calendar. We got some fun things coming up. You guys seeing this okay, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. And it will be fun, capital F-U-N, the transportation vendor forum that Michelle already talked about. Woo! But we do have some other exciting families for things coming up for clients and for families. So Southside Park play dates, you guys can see up here, these are all the dates that they will be having it. But Southside Park has a universal playground there that is, let's see here. I'm actually going to go to the read more. You guys still seeing this? So it will be for ages 3 to 12 are welcome to join. And it looks like Universal Universe Playground is a solar themed adaptable structure for all abilities. And Southside Park is located down there off of 6th Street, right at, I think it's like, is it XW right there at the park there between, I think, 6th and 5th. And the times will be from 10 to noon on these dates, which looks like a very fun opportunity. And let me go back. We also have the 2024 Feet Walk-in Carnival that will be coming up on June 1st. And it looks like if you are registered for the April 13th or have gathered donations or sponsored the 2024 Feet Walk, everything remains the same. It's just had to be moved to June 1st. And it raises funds for the FEET program to keep families accessing new, exciting, and creative resources. There will be live music, fun booth activities, a 2K nature walk run, face painting, and much more. The event starts at 8 a.m. with registration, and then there's also registration online. The cost is $35 per participant. Not sure if any of you guys have participated in that in the past, but it looks like a very fun event. And then we also have YOLO Juneteenth. It looks like on June 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event will take place at the UC Davis Activities and Rec Center, located right there on Orchard Road in Davis. This celebration takes place early to honor and not interfere with the local Juneteenth festivals happening in the surrounding communities, right? So that looks like a great opportunity. I'm going to click on this link. It's always good to get music, right? It's always a fun event. So I can share this flyer in the chat as well. Let me do that really quick. And let's see what else we got on our events calendar. We have our micro enterprise fair. We have our early intervention forum, which is going to be June 11th from 1 to 2. The Zoom link is right here. And then it looks like also there will be a 21st annual Sacramento Juneteenth Festival, which will be Saturday, June 15th at 10 a.m. And there's also a registration link here that's going to be at William Land Park. So this is kind of the expanded view if you ever want to go to the quick view, so you get a little quicker without all the pictures and such. This is a quicker view, but we definitely have a lot of great activities coming up this summer. Looking forward to it. So keep posted on our activities and events calendar for events happening in your guys' area. And that is the end of our agenda items. I don't know if anybody has anything they'd like to share, or if any PAC members have anything going on, or if they want to talk about how the May Day rally went. Does anybody want to speak about how the May Day rally went? Let's see who's on here that I can bug. Michelle Ramirez, are you still on here from On My Own?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, we had a really good attendance. We had a letter signing booth. We had hundreds of people showed up. We had lots of signs and bells, and we had a really tight agenda of lots of speakers that came out to speak. Overall, the day was really good. We got a great video. I was just trying to look for the link to see if I could put it in there, and I lost it in my slew of emails. So
Okay.
I think Jay is online. Is he still here? Jay, is he still here? Maybe Jay could post the
I'll drop a link in there for it.
yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you guys so much.
Overall, it was really great event.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad you guys had a good turnout. It's so important. I know
Huge thank you to John and to Lori, because they both came out and supported and spoke and shared their support for DSPs to get livable wages. So very much appreciate that.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, Jordan, it's Camelia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just piggybacking on what they were just saying. If we are able to show the video, I'm not sure. Technology, you know how that goes. I think looking at the time, we have enough time to share. I think it's worthy for the group to see.
Okay, let me attempt to
if
see,
possible.
right? Let me see if I'm technologically savvy enough to get this done for you.
I hear you.
But right, let's see here. Where did you guys go? There you are. Okay. You were gonna put the link in the chat? Okay, perfect. Okay, and let me got things going on here. Okay, so I am going to attempt to share my screen on this and then play the video. You guys can let me know.
We'll let you know if we hear it.
Are you hearing it?
So thank you guys for all showing up today. It's warm out. It's
Yes.
89 degrees. We don't know what's going on with the whole change of weather, but we know the big change of weather is that we have a proposal to delay the rate implementation, which is $1 billion. So you're all here to let people know that we can't delay.
When food service is offering $20 minimum wage, am I supposed to accept the fact that my life is worth less than a cheeseburger?
SOS! Save our services! Mayday, mayday! Don't delay, right? We want the governor to not delay the rate increase so we can pay our providers what they're worth. Many providers, you're just not showing up at somebody's house. You're a cook, you're a therapist, you provide transportation, you're a relationship counselor. What else do you do? Any and everything. There's a promise that has fallen short. The funding is not in place to support the individuals that provide that direct work, that linkage to the clients that deserve the services. We need to have our voices be heard, and we need to ask that the governor makes a choice to do the right thing.
You know there was a promise to you all. We've been talking about the promises to this community for a very long time, and every now and then you get a little something. But we cannot be holding back and waiting any longer. We are living our lives in a wait, and we need to get out there, be part of our community, and stop this playing around with our community. Let's hear it. You're too loud. You're too powerful of a community to ignore, and we are all together.
Who believes we need more services for our community? And who is tired of making poverty wages to provide those services? Providing services to our community should not mean making a choice between doing what you love and not being able to put food on the table. And we know that that is the struggle for so many people who do this work.
We are asking you to urge the governor and leadership to not delay the rate implementation.
That was a great video. Thank you so much for recommending that and for sharing that, Jay. That is great. I'm so glad that you guys had a good turnout. It's so vital, right? It's
600 people.
600.
Actually 600 people from across the state.
That is fantastic.
It was pretty sad that we didn't get any media play with having that many people, but it was literally over 600 people, their families, community members, and DSPs. And there was about 10 to 20 people with intellectual development of disabilities that spoke that. So pretty impressive.
No, it's very impressive. And I know that when I was speaking with John about it, that he said that there was folks that traveled up from Southern California, lots of folks from the Bay Area and Central California. So we love to see that. Thank you guys for the coalition for, bringing this together, right? It was such a great advocacy opportunity. Thank you all so much for your participation in that. You guys are absolutely, you're the vital, right? You're the backbone of what we do here. So you guys are essential. Thank you so much. That was a great video. Anything else from anybody else? We have a few minutes. I don't know if anybody else has any agenda items or things that they want to discuss. I
asked a question in the chat if we were able to share that video in on our social medias, like our agency social medias. Is that okay?
Are you asking me? Because I'm going to say yes, please, and put it on every social media you possibly can. There's another.
I'm asking because we were sharing some of the pictures and stuff that came around with, so we had to. So
yeah,
send that over.
And there is 2 more big events that are going to be happening in Southern California over the next week. I believe that happened on the 31st, where Harbor, they're going to be down in, I think, San Diego. Michelle, do you know the 2? San Diego and LA, I think. So yes, please, as much as you can put it out there, we would really, really appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much. Okay, well, I know it's a long weekend, right? Memorial Day weekend. So I hope you all have a great weekend and holiday. And we will be back next Friday for some more fun with Coffee with Community Services. We really appreciate you guys coming out. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.